Talk, your homegirl, and I am back for part 2, honey. Let me just say that yesterday's interview was so mind-boggling that I had to really just, beg her, to stay and just give us a part 2. So no, yesterday I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I was really trying to be as white woman as I can possibly be, because I know that Nikki and I and the producer spoke, and we didn't really want any name pointing because everybody has a story. But there's been a recent video that was also released by one of the girl member that I did not see. So that's what kind of ignited this part 2 for Nikki to really just sit here. And she wanted to wait for the book to come out. So here's the thing though. We are not discouraging you from buying that book when it comes out. So Barnes & Nobles and Amazon, you're going to still buy the book. So darling, let's talk about the real tea. So you had you and 3 other girls in the group, right?
Right.
What was the real issue?
So I want to start from the very beginning when it was me, Raquel, and Jasleen. And I was in LA and we were recording music. Our first single that we were just doing, messing around the studio, was Blank Space by Taylor Swift. And we never released it because we never finished it, but it was coming out so beautifully and we all clicked, like all 3 of us. It was magic, and it was like, wow, this is really gonna happen. It was the most exhilarating feeling to know that it was a movement happening, and like I said, I was going to add, an African American girl, and I was still looking for like a Middle Eastern girl or Indian or whatever. So we're still going to launch it as a trio and still keep, auditioning and finding new talent. So I knew, Milan Zanotti, and she, and also Ashley Grace had, directed me to another artist, Elite Luciani. So I was like, great, I met up with Elite. She came to my house, avant-garde, spunky, very artistic looking, she had a unique style, and I totally lived for it, I loved it because I was like, yes, this is gonna work, we all have a certain unique look. I'm like the exotic Barbie, then we have the artistic, artsy one, and then we have, Jasleen, which is the little baby doll, and then we have, Raquel, which is like the sexy bombshell burlesque girl,
Latina.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, this could work. Everything was great. Everything was great in the beginning. We had no problems, and she had explained to me that she had a vision of having a girl group before, so I saw that her passion was the same as mine,
And who is this we're speaking about? Elise?
Elite,
okay,
right.
Is it Elite or Elise?
Elite.
Like E-L-E-E-T. Okay, Elite. Sorry.
We both had the same type of passions and, and visions and stuff, even though creatively she had a little different visions and I had different visions, and, we had to agree on certain things. In her biography, a couple things where it took me a little bit like, but I still, I work with people, but I read, I'm the girl who walks left when everyone walks right, or,
So that was like a red flag.
Right, but I was just like, what, maybe that's just, I'm the unique one, the spunky one. I'm just like, I'm the girl who goes up when everyone goes right. So I'm just like, okay, I'm the girl who beats to her own drum. So I was just like, maybe that's just the same.
Right.
Well, that's exactly what I saw, what was going on with the group. Mm-hmm. Our first issue, before anything launched, we had our first really bad fight on the phone. It was just like she would have a story, something traumatic would happen to her, and we would talk about it. And it, I don't want to get into what was said, you know what I mean? But something had happened to her, or something was going on in her life.
Right. Trials
and tribulations, we all go through it. We all have problems, and that's for everybody, not just Elite. We all have problems in our world. Like we all have drama and we all have things that happen. It's not just Elite. Elite finds a way to make it's just about her. She's the only one going through it.
Okay.
And I am a person that can relate to all these issues, and I was sympathetic and compassionate to her issues. I listened to it the first time. She had another problem a second time. And when I start seeing stories and a new story and a new story.
Became a pattern.
It became a pattern, right? For me, it became a pattern. Maybe it was organic, and maybe it was real, and maybe it was not. I don't know if she calls for attention. I don't know if she plays a victim card. I don't know 100% if it is truth or if it's not, just because of the pattern.
Right.
So, I still dealt with it. It was to the point of where she was having financial issues, and I said, look, if you need help, I will be there for you. I will help you with money. If you need help with food, that's the type of person I am, because I do have a heart.
Right.
And she said, thank you so much, girl. Like, we cried, we argued, we cried about things, like, and it got to the point after the pattern that I was just like getting fed up, because then it was just like, we need to practice. Oh, I can't do it this day. Oh, I can't practice this day. It was almost
Where did she live?
Brooklyn. Somewhere.
So she was from New York, the same city as you.
Right.
So,
I live in Jersey, she lives in Brooklyn.
okay, so you guys were like within driving distance. It's not like she had to fly in.
No.
Okay. Now, when did it really start? Because what I just heard is that it's almost like you got fed up. When did you realize that you were fed up? What was it, the tipping point?
I didn't get fed up over that. It was just...
Right. The pattern.
Annoying. It was just, for me, it was just annoying. And for me, it was a point of where I was like, is this girl going to be a problem? Do you know what I mean? Like, is this going to be like an issue? Because I never had anything like that in the past with any other member. So I was like, is this going to be an issue? Because if it's going to be an issue, then I have to let her know right now.
Right.
It seems to me, and I offered it to her. I said, do you want to be part of the Secret Girls? Because it seems to me you have a lot of issues that I think that you need to work out within yourself before you can dedicate yourself to the group. She got offended. Oh, no, I need this, and cried to me about it, and really showed me she really wanted her place in this group. So I said, fine. That was another fight that we had. So it was just like, it was just one thing after another. This was before launching anything. So it got to being, with us, almost like she felt like I wasn't there for her. She felt like I wasn't believing her. She felt like I was against her. And it was getting to being very aggressive. Not aggressive yet. It was just very like something.
Right. You could feel that
it was a tension, right? Building little by little. But I still stuck it out. I was like, you know what? It's gonna get better. It'll get better. It'll get better. I believe, and giving people chances and letting things go and starting over and forgiving. I believe in the Lord, and the Lord says always forgive and move on. So, we had lots of rehearsals coming up. She never expressed to me that she had fractured her ankle in the past at all. Like in the past, and I told her when we had rehearsals, I said, if you would have told me this,
you could accommodate it.
I wouldn't have had you. I don't know what I would have done, because having somebody with a fractured ankle and we have such dance moves, being like this, then that is not good. You know what I don't want you breaking your ankle.
Right.
I don't want you hurting yourself in a pair of heels. She said she could do it. Don't worry. I'll be fine. I just can't wear these shoes all the time. Take them off, put them on, and still we made it work. But it was an argument again.
Right.
So, little by little, things were just, I can't do this. I can't do that. I have a problem with this. I have a problem with that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was a pattern. We kept going on and on and on and on and on. So I was just like, it literally just started becoming like, ugh. Like how I'm rolling my eyes, oh, here we go again. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like every time I heard Nikki out of her mouth, I was just like, oh, here we go. Like, so this is the this is how I started to, respond to her. So, it came down to the rehearsals. We got through the rehearsals, and when I say rehearsals, we have long rehearsals. We had days that were really packed up. We had girls staying here at my house. We had Raquel, we had Jasleen staying with me. Then sometimes Elite would sleep over. It was a lot.
Full house.
Stress. Yeah. Full house in my house, and I drive everywhere. We had an event to go to. This was a bad fight, and this is what I put up in the sizzle reel of what went on.
So that's kind of what she addressed.
Real story. I didn't say the elaborate story, because I didn't want it to look messy on the sizzle reel, and I wanted to keep it very professional. And I said half the story or a quarter of the story, but the real story was that yes, the night before we had a big event for Gay Pride. We were on a flyer for Matinee USA. We all had our faces on there, and we're all working for the event to host. So the night before, we all go out to promote. Elite leaves her ID home, so we couldn't get into some clubs. So, and we did an event in New York City. We went to another event. Elite left her ID at home. It had pissed off me, Jesline, Raquel, because we're trying to go out as a group to promote the group, and it was just one thing after another, and this was one of those things. So, Elite went home. We still went out, and Raquel and Jesline ended up going out to a nightclub and stayed out till the next afternoon. Right. And I'm like boggled in the morning, waking up. They didn't get back to my house. I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? We have an event. We have 2 events that day. And I'm just like, oh my God. I called up Elite, like flipping out. I was like, oh my God, these girls are not here. I don't know what happened, blah, blah, blah. She's like,
and joining us, why don't you introduce who is on the little iPad for us today?
this is my girl, Milan Zanotti, a rapper.
What's up with everybody?
So tell us a little bit about you, girl. So I heard you're a rap artist.
I am a lyricist, not only a rap artist, because everybody out here is a rapper. I'm a lyricist. But yes, I'm Milan Zanotti, and I'm that bitch. And I can sit there all day, every day. You feel me? So.
Okay, now I hear you. So, what is your experience with Nikki?
I've known Nikki for many years, and I've been like really, she's been there to support me and have my, and she's had my back. Sorry, y'all. I'm living a real life. This is not fake. You feel me? So, look at it.
I love it.
Okay, so, I know, you guys are doing a radio interview, and this is the truth. I'm trying to give it to you guys raw, and this is how you know this is not made up or acted. You know, this is real shit. My girl Nikki had called me and told me about what's going on, and I know a lot of people are trying to defame her and blame her for a lot of things that are personal vendettas against her. I've known her for a long time, and she's not like that. You know, she my mom, I love you, my brother, my colleague, and Nikki Exotika. I know both. I know Nikki Exotika and Nicole Sanders, and they are one in the same, but Nikki Exotika is a hustler, a go-getter. She's determined. This is her vision, this is her dream, and she will push hard for her dream. So a lot of people, I don't know a lot of people personally, but a lot of people don't know what it's like to sacrifice for her dream. So what Nikki did was, get a group of girls that she thought were hungry for the same vision. And when you don't have a big machine behind you, you need to invest in your craft. You need to invest in your group. You need to invest in your vision so that it can come through and come true.
Right.
And a lot of the girls thought that it was going to be an overnight success. That, oh my God, we're going to be the first trans group and we're going to make it overnight. It doesn't work like that.
Hello.
Dreams come in blood, sweat, and tears. And you know what I'm saying? Dreams,
Absolutely.
it's blood, sweat, and tears. And at the end of the day, the girls talking about Nikki and saying all this stuff and making a TV show about it, or making, not even a TV show, making a whole episode on Nicole trying to bash her and things like that just goes to show you a lot of people are not happy with their own selves. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people want the fame that she has. You know what I'm saying? As far as being a transgender pop star and that name, that household name, they go left here and another left. So they want that. And because they don't have that, what they're gonna do is hate. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay because if you don't have haters, you're not popping. You know what I'm saying? And Nicole's been popping. And me and her have our own disagreements and stuff like that, but one thing about Nicole, she's not a fake bitch. Either she fucks with you or she don't fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? And she's gonna tell it to you straight. The problem is a lot of these girls want someone that's gonna cater to their ego. That's gonna cater to their feelings and stroke their ego. It doesn't work like that in the industry. This industry is cutthroat.
Okay.
And if you can't deal with that and you can't invest in your dream, then you don't need to be. I'm not saying personal shots at the girls in the group. I'm just saying in general. Because I've been there myself, and I know what it's like. And I've heard stories. I've been on FaceTime with Nikki, and I see how they treat, they get upset at her. But she pushes and she drives you, and that's what it takes.
How many times did I cry to you? How many times?
You called me. No, you didn't call me. You FaceTime me, and I seen it in your face. I seen your tears. How do I deal with this, sister? What do I do? And it's just like, I felt really bad, and I told her to be careful with each other, And there was a girl that, I just wish they worked out, because if they really focused, both Nikki and, the other member, they would have done great together, but they're so strong in their personalities that they clashed. And I just wish that those two would have been able to work that out. But as far as the other girls, I really, it's no shit, and I wish they could work it out. I wish, that Elite and Nicole could work it out, because they would have been a powerful group. You know what I'm saying? Just even them two alone, I wish they could put, I wish Elite could, just because she sings good, and so does Nicole, and they're both very talented, but sometimes the destiny doesn't want us to work things out. But the way that these other girls have been coming down on her and bashing her, I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? All she did was trying to get a group together, and it doesn't make any sense that they would come together and try to gang up on her. You know what I'm saying? And make her feel
try to destroy everything that I had, the vision I had, try to destroy it all.
Right, no, but I appreciate you taking this time and kind of like giving your aspect of it, because again, I'm a third party. I don't really know what happened. I'm just knowing by what I heard and by the first interview that I had. But being that you actually got FaceTimes from Nikki and you actually had conversations, so I kind of wanted to get someone that I know that actually was there to kind of, not solidify, but to kind of have her back, because it's not right what you said, what they're doing. And if you were there and you've seen it, then you can speak on it. Feel me?
No, of course. And even when things were good, I was there. They would call me, Nicole would call me on FaceTime. They're doing their photo shoot. They're going to the studio. They're about to perform. She would tell me. I've heard of all the highs and the lows.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like people want to be there for the highs, but then when it gets hard, you want to say, oh, fuck that. Well, she's a selfish bitch. It don't work like that. She's just trying to be as real and genuine as she can be in this type of industry. Like I said, it's a cutthroat industry. You know what I'm saying? And Nicole, she was the pack leader, because she put the group together. So if she's investing more money into the group, who do you think is going to get the repercussion of the benefit of their labor? You get what you put in.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Things don't come overnight, and a lot of people think that their dreams will take over overnight. And that's where they're mistaken.
Right.
So I feel like your viewers and whoever's watching, just be mindful of the source that you guys get your information from, because a lot of things are just a kiki. Don't take things serious. A lot of TV shows out there are just a joke and a kiki. And you just laugh it.
I say that all the time, and I agree with you that you got to check the source of where the information's coming from.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Because if you get it from a gossip, all you're gonna want to get, I don't know if you're Spanish, but all you're gonna get is cheese me.
Yeah, I'm Puerto Rican, girl. I get it.
They thrive on people's downfalls because their life is so fucked up.
Right.
So you gotta look at the source. If they never get positive energy, then they're always haters for future. And if they're always haters,
I like her.
Yeah, I love her.
don't mind that. Nicole, honey, you have come so far in this life, and your calling is not done. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad that go ahead, take it. Seeing a vision in these girls, and you try to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, a lot of these girls have egos. They have egos. You can't stroke their egos.
Right.
That's not what you can do. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, do you. You're just like, come to push hard, and you don't need no fucking girl group. You do the one-man show. Fuck out of here.
I love you. I love you, sis.
I said that all the time, girl. Who needs a group when you have this?
Right, exactly.
But
the thing that she wanted to make, she wanted to put a staple in the industry and just come hard as a group and unite. But shit like this,
it wasn't about me at all.
Always an ego.
Right. Just close your house that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, not for her. You want what?
He doesn't have to wait.
Hey, love. Gorgeous.
Yes.
Thank you. But I'm gonna close. I know you got things. She's like,
No, that's fine. I wanted to make it a priority because I did tell her, but I told her I was gonna be running around making 3 errands.
Right. No, thank you.
Like I said earlier, this is real shit.
Thank you.
It's real.
All right.
I love you, baby.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Bye bye.
Love you.